Okay, so morena everyone, and welcome to our summer festival. Imagine this. My name is Noha, and I'm here today to share a very special book with you. Our book is called Stepping Stones, a refugee family's journey. The Arabic title is Hasa al-Turuqat, رحلة عائلة لاجئة. This book was written by award-winning children's author Magriet Ruurs, and the artwork was made by Nizar Ali Badr. And the book was published by Orca Book Publishers. And I also have a very cool surprise. So we're going to have a little talk about this book with Stepping Stones' beautiful author here, Magriet Ruurs, who is zooming in all the way from Canada. We also have our friend Muhammad Al-Faris, who moved from Syria to settle in New Zealand, and he now studies at Mana College. A very warm welcome to both of you. So back to Stepping Stones. Stepping Stones is a story of Rama and her family. They are forced to flee a peaceful village in Syria to escape the civil war. And with her mother, father, and her grandfather and her brother, they set out to walk to freedom in Europe. So first of all, Margriet, the artwork that is used to illustrate this book is extremely unique, actually. And I just wanted to ask, what inspired you to write this story? And can you tell us more about these beautiful illustrations?
All right, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Noha, and it's very nice to meet you and to speak to you all the way in New Zealand, because I'm on the west coast of Canada. And so we can say kia orana, assalamu alaikum, good morning, good evening. So yeah, I'm a writer of many books for children. And writers are always looking for ideas, right? What are you going to write about? And because I travel a lot around the world to go to international schools to speak to children about writing and books, I tend to get a lot of ideas from all over the world. I wrote a book called Birthdays Around the World, and that's in a series of families around the world and schools around the world. It shows children in Saudi Arabia and children in Pakistan, children in England, in Sweden, in Denmark, in Australia, even a child on Norfolk Island, which is not too terribly far from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. I wrote a book about how children around the world get library books, sometimes by camels. In Pakistan, my friend runs a camel library. And so looking for ideas, I never know where they will come from or what will actually end up being a book. But one day I was on Facebook, of all things, on the computer, and I was scrolling through photos that my friends, often teachers around the world, were posting. And all of a sudden, I saw an image that just caught my eye, and I'll show it to you. I looked at it and I thought, that is a beautiful image. It looks to me like somebody carrying a child and maybe a father carrying things, and they're walking. And when I saw this photo, on the news was very much the civil war in Syria and how people were fleeing by walking across borders in search of a safe place to live. And I thought maybe this image is about that. I also thought, isn't that cool that it's made with rocks? It looked like rocks. And, you know, when a writer has an idea for a story, we never know what it will end up looking like. Mm-hmm. So when I get an idea, I do the research and the planning and what I want to write, and I work on my story for sometimes many years, not just a few days. And so even a simple picture book will take 2 or 3 or 7 years. And when I finish writing it, I sent that story to a publisher.
Mhm.
And then it's up to the publisher to decide what the book will be called and who will be the illustrator. And out of my 40 books, I don't know the illustrators of my books. I don't get to pick them, and I don't know what the book will look like. But I do know that some of my illustrators make beautiful paintings or drawings. Sometimes the book uses photos. And when I saw this image of stones, I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have a children's book illustrated with rocks? Who made this picture? So I clicked on the image and I read and I found out that a man living in Syria made this picture, but he didn't speak any English. I sent him a message to say, would you allow me to use your pictures to see if I could write a story to go with your art? Because I really like your art. And I was hoping he would be excited about that idea, but he didn't write me back. And so I tried many, many times to email him, but there was never an answer. And then I figured out maybe he didn't speak any English. Maybe he didn't know what I was asking, but I don't speak Arabic. And so then I had a teacher translate my question for me into Arabic, and I sent that, and he didn't reply.
Oh.
So it took me a long time to figure out that he had reached his maximum number of friends on Facebook. And if I wasn't his friend, I couldn't be his friend because he wasn't allowed more. And when I'm not his friend, he was not getting my messages. So through a friend in Pakistan who speaks Arabic, I was able to contact somebody who lives in Latakia, Syria, close to him and who knew him. And he went over to him and said, this writer in Canada is trying to get in touch with you. So it wasn't very easy. But once we were in touch, he would phone me on Facebook video, and he would have a friend there who spoke English. So he would be talking in Arabic to me, and his friend would translate. And he said, yes, you can use my art that he had all put on Facebook. And I said, if I write a story, if I take your pictures and put them in a sequence, and if I write a story that I feel your art is telling, then if I find a publisher, you will get paid for your art. So living in Syria, that was important to him. And that, I think, in the end, really changed his life.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing how you persevered to get in touch with him. And yeah, and thank you for telling us this this wonderful story. So basically the artwork was there, and then you created this story to match the artwork. How
Which is
awesome.
basically backwards from how it usually
Exactly.
goes, right? Usually I would have
Yeah.
written it first, and an artist would make the article with it, but now I wrote the words to go with his pictures.
Yeah, how beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Margriet, and for telling us the story of writing books. And I never thought it took years actually to come out with a book. That's so much hard work. Muhammad, I was just thinking, do you have any memories of yourself back in Syria, or any memories of your journey to New Zealand at all that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, actually, my best memories were back in Syria, where like when it's time for us to go and pick up the olives, like go climb the trees back in the garden and get all the olives down. And also we had vines, like we had 3 big vines tree in the courtyard, so we'd also get these, and it was very good. My best memory was like when we picked the grapes, I always ate half of them, so it was very yum. So back in your home having all these. Also, we had a big tree, and yeah, me and my brothers and cousin would just climb up there, eat half, and then go down, like, oh, we didn't find any, which is pretty fun. And sneaking off school, going to the shops with the mates, that's also like nice memories to have. But yeah, leaving Syria and that, coming here to a peaceful country, chasing other dreams and building extra goals on peaceful land, it's pretty good. And yeah.
Thank you for that, Muhammad. Yeah, it looks like you had an awesome time, a very nice childhood back there. Yeah, and we're very happy that you are with us now and safe and sound. Um, so, so Margriet, is this children? You know, this is a children's book, and it's about refugees, and you're obviously concerned about the status of refugees. And although the book was written in 2016, and the number of refugees have definitely increased in the world by now, but I just want to know, what is your message to the children of the world that you want to send through this book?
Well, of course, as Mohammed has experienced firsthand, children are always the worst victims of war because they didn't choose to live in a country where there is war. And I'm anxious to ask Mohammed a lot of questions, like what would that feel like to think that maybe would you ever be able to go back home and see where you were raised, or you know, is it going to be impossible to ever go back? And so I hope that children don't ever have to experience that again, although history shows that people have always made war throughout the ages, throughout the world. So to live in a country like New Zealand or Canada, we are so extremely lucky. And I think that part of my message to children is you shouldn't have to live through a war, but also to the children who do live in peaceful countries, that it's our responsibility to help those people that do live in a war or in a dangerous zone, and that we need to be there to help one another, that we can't build walls and say, you can't come here, because whether you come forever or whether you come for a short time until it's safe for you to go home, if that happened to us, we would want to know that there is a place for us to go and live in safety. I was born and raised in the Netherlands after World War II, but my parents lived through the same thing that Mohammed did when their houses and their towns were bombed, and they had to flee and live in hiding and all those horrible things. The right of a child is to be able to grow up in peace and to live in a safe environment with people who care about them.
Absolutely, yeah. Mohammed, do you feel that you have a good future here in New Zealand? Are you optimistic? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you think about your other Syrian mates as well?
I truly believe that my future is going great at the moment. I've set myself a few goals, and I'm working pretty good towards them actually. When I first got here, I didn't have the kind of view on what I want to be, because a lot of options were open to me, and none of them that really interested me. But when I went to Mana College, and just last year they opened a course it's building, which we just go on site building a house and learning the basic skills. So when we go out to the industry, we got the skills we need and prepare us for extra work. And also I joined building it just because I want to be engineering. So having those skills and get my apprenticeship while I'm at school, it can really lift me up when I go to uni. So that was pretty good. And my mates, actually, it depends on your mindset. Like for them, it's what they want to be. Some of them want to be doctors, and some of them want to be businessmen. So I just advise them to have chosen the right classes for the right year, and for so far everything for everyone around me is going pretty good, and yeah, it's a very bright future for everyone around me and me as well. Like, it depends on your mindset and the goals you set yourself.
And your English is amazing. You've only been in New Zealand for 4 years?
5 years.
5
5
years?
years, yeah.
Well, I know my Arabic would not be anywhere near your English.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's really nice to know, Muhammad, that you are setting your goals and you have a clear vision for what you want to do. Muhammad also has a number of siblings. One of his eldest brother, is that your eldest brother, Muhammad Yazan? He is also a poet, and he has written a lovely piece of poetry about Syria that Muhammad would like to share with us. So can you please read that out for us, Muhammad?
I'll just get it on here. Just a minute. Okay. This poem that my brother wrote just a few years ago is called "When My Family Is All Together." So we sit in the courtyard in the shade of the grapevines. We put mats on the floor. We have tea and fruit, grapes and watermelon. Sometimes we bring the TV outside and we all watch our favorite drama. Some are sitting, some are lying, some are talking, some are listening. They get into the talk, they discuss. They get excited about their talking, and when there are two sides, their voices goes up. At the end, when we finish, it takes 5 minutes to say goodbye, and another 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes.
Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you so much, Muhammad. That was so awesome. That is very typical, eh? This another 5 minutes and another 5 minutes. Yeah, that's a beautiful poem. Please, so please give Yazan our regards. Thank you for that. So the last thing I would like to say about the book is the translation. So this entire book is translated into Arabic. And so if you have any of your Arabic-speaking friends around, please ask them to come and take a look at the book. It's really, really cool. Falah Rahim is the Arabic translator. From Iraq, and he had a beautiful comment that he had mentioned in one of his interviews about the book, and he said that when he read the book, he remembered the poem Easter 1916, which is written by William Butler Yeats, and the line says, "Too long a sacrifice can make a stone of the heart." And Rahim says that in this book, Nizar Ali and Margriet Ruurs have reversed this, and they are basically saying that too long a sacrifice can turn a stone into a heart. How beautiful is that? So thank you all for listening, and this book is available in the library. You can go on to steppingstones.com and also read about the book if you want more information. You can go on Magriet Ruurs' website, and you'll be able to see all her lovely children books and read about her awards and everything. And I just want to thank you, Muhammad and Margriet, for being with us today. And thank everyone for listening. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the festival. And see you later.
Happy reading.